All right, we're going to start. So please take a seat. We're already running a little bit late. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we are here to welcome the Financial Consulting Services. I'm so happy that they're here and sharing their time with us. Let's give them a round of applause and welcome them.
Good afternoon. You can settle down. I'm not going to speak into the mic. My voice is loud enough. My name is Reiner Piepmeyer. I am the CEO of PKF-FCS Namibia. I'm going to go very quickly through the slides. We have half an hour because I see quite a number of that time.
You can take a little bit longer.
For me, I'm just going to give you a bit of feedback. The first slide is before this one. The firm was started in 1994 by Frank Mormon. I don't know, many of you know them. Either you might know Mr. Mormon. Started as a one-man show here in Swakopmund, there where the Delight Hotel is. And it converted into a close corporation, and it has grown quite a bit into 3 offices, which we have in Namibia right now, which you see Windhoek, Walvisveen, and Swakopmund. 2016, we converted into a company as well. We'll go to the next slide. And 2016, we merged with PKF. We became PKF Namibia. PKF is the international accounting, auditing, and consulting firm. And since then, the company has grown quite a bit. So while we are still financial consulting services at that stage, we have adopted the brand in 2021. And we have now become one of the largest mid-tier accounting and audit firm in Namibia. I think we are now number 3 in size when it goes to clients and number of staff. We are around about, at the moment, 120, 125 staff. We were beginning at the pandemic, we were 150 staff. And we are serving roughly about 4,500 clients in Namibia. So that is a bit of our history. All of this is on our website. It's boring, it's happened, that you can read. What is important is what we can do from here. PKF International is an international firm, as I said before, with, I think they are 500 firms internationally. They're all independent, and they have an aggregate fee income of 2.39 billion. That's US dollars, not Namibian dollars. A bit more than the average income. So it's quite a large firm. I'm not going to go through this. All this is on the website, guys. PKF is an international brand. It's like PwC, you've known them. It's just not in Namibia, it's big. But it's like PwC, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, BDO, the big 5. PKF is just the same. What is important is why you are here, and that is a career week. And that is, what can you become? And what we do have is, you can stop on this one. What we do have is career opportunities. Most of you are sitting here because you think becoming an accountant means big money. You look at the size of my belly, probably not. Group accounting, financial manager, chief financial manager, all one of them is a partner in an accounting firm. It's different routes you can go. Same with auditing. I don't know if I have the auditing slide on here. Same with auditing. Auditing, you have your forensic auditor, you have quite a lot. All of them start with you leaving school. All of them start with you going to university. All of them start with a degree. I just heard now the guy from Red Cross said, become accountants, become lawyers, they all need to. It's true. everything needs to be reported. Any club, any church, any business, anything, you have to have an accountant. And in many cases, when you have a public interest, you have to have an auditor as well. So for me, the most important thing here is you guys will have a chance just now to ask some questions. The important bit is, how are you going to become an accountant, or how are you going to become an auditor? And that is the most important one. Step one, school. And at the moment, I don't know if you can read this. You have to have, and UNAM is here, and I think University of Pretoria is here as well. I've seen that. You have to have mathematics, and you have to have English. That is, as far as I know, that's UNISA at the moment. The UNISA requirements. I don't know about UNAM, I don't know about the Pretoria. Accounting is not even a must, it's just a recommendation. You don't even have to have accounting at school to become an accountant. But you still have to enroll into a degree, whether it's at the university for full-time study, or whether it is through UNISA distant learning. Once you have your academic, once you have your degree, your Bachelor of Commerce for a CA, you need your postgraduate as well. Then it's when your professional exams start. And your practical experience, or articles as they were known in the past. And this can take you anything for accountants, can take you anything from minimum 4 years for accountants to 7 years, and for auditing also 6-7 years. And I can promise you one thing, while you are learning, you are a junior. And as a junior, you are a nobody. It's a circle of life. When you start high school, you are nobody. Then you go, when you start, go to school, you are nobody. Then you finish in the pre-primary, you are the somebody, then you are the nobody again. Then you finish school, you're as high, and then you start the nobody again. That is the circle of life. And it will take quite some time until you start your job, until you become a somebody. So that is very fast. That's your bachelor, 3 to 4 years, depending on how smart and hardworking you are. Postgraduate has been 1 year, sometimes it's 2 years. Then you have, this is auditing now. Then you have your board 1, which is now the initial test of competence. Your board 2, that's your assessment of professional competence. And that is your final audit development, then you can register as an auditor. So that is what you can become. But you also can become, we can go through the switches now, but you can also become as a company secretary. Many of you are thinking now a company secretary is somebody that's answering the telephone. No, it's not. That is the office secretary. I don't know if you have heard the word corporate governance in the past few years. If you have looked into the news, you might have heard people called Gupta, a company called Steinhoff. Those are the guys that have been in the news. They have been able to siphon off a few dollars here or there, and with the help of the entire board. And that is because corporate governance was not implemented. I know the auditors are always given they are accused of helping them, but it's corporate governance actually that is the problem. And your company secretary is the person that is responsible for corporate governance. That is the person that makes sure the board is kept in line. So the company secretary is a very, very important position. There's no physical degree at the moment for that, but you can train through South Africa as well. That is a position which is also becoming more and more sought after. Then we also have bookkeeping, which all of you think is the same. Bookkeeping is just the day-to-day recording of the transactions. For bookkeeping, you don't really need a degree. Bookkeeping is something you are taught in-house, and that is until a trial to submit your monthly returns and the things. But after that, your normal work as an accountant starts. I've said a lot of things, and everybody is confused now. It's exactly what it needs to be, so you can start asking questions. Any slide you want to explain again? Why are you all sleeping? Because it's straight ocean.
How long would I have to work before I can start becoming a partner and getting a little piece of that $2.3 billion?
How long? Are you talking in years? Are you talking in hours?
Yes.
Depends on your commitment. It depends on your eagerness to start your own firm. It depends entirely on you. If you haven't learned it by now, nothing in life is for free, except what your parents are giving you. Nothing, nothing. And I promise you, once you leave school, nothing in life is for free.
So that isn't even free. You have to pay taxes, which will fund their retirement.
You have to pay taxes if you make a profit. If you don't make a profit, you don't have to pay taxes. To answer your question, I was one of the youngest partners in the accounting fraternity in Namibia. I was 27 years old. The normal age becoming a partner is between 30, 32, 34. It's becoming younger and younger and younger. It's also the trend for the bigger corporations to have younger and younger and younger partners in. When I started working, the average age for a partner was about 49. It was quite some time.
Now, you guys offer quite a lot of opportunities for students leaving school.
Yes, we have an open day. What we specialize in is most of the parents don't have the funds to send their kids full-time to university. What we do is we take in students and we pay for this university. It's not a bursary, it's distant learning. You are still working, but you're earning a salary and we fund for the studies. So we pay for the studies. If you pass, it's yours. If you fail, you pay it back. And we pay it again until you pass. No, I'm joking. You have one chance.
And other than that, you also offer bursaries.
No, we don't offer bursaries at this stage. We would like you to come and work for us because honestly, I think it's better starting from the beginning. It's tougher. It's much, much tougher. It's much tougher. Because believe me, especially if you're young, you have a job until 5 o'clock, sometimes 7, 8 o'clock, and then you still have to go and study. Whereas in university, you go to class. After you finish class, normally you can party. 3-4 months before the exam, you start cramming, but just like now in school. Well, if you're really smart, you don't even cram.
Right, Reiner, so if now you have these students asking for a job with you and to do that with you, what are you going to look at? What's going to make it stand out?
The interview. When we have a job opportunity and it's advertised, we have between 600 to 800 CVs for every single job. So it's quite a process. There's a sifting process which goes through, then we have a short list, and only 3 or 4 of that short list are interviewed.
Runners can quickly jump in here. They usually also ask what are the requirements to come to a class. Like runner stipulated is maths or accounting plus language. And the students ask, is it okay if I come with my grade 11 marks? So I'll tell them it's fine as long as you get entry requirements into one of the universities covered by the various institutes. But I usually say, what will set you apart? If I receive 2 CVs, one is AS level with a driver's license, and one is grade 11. Which one will set you apart? So don't just go for minimum, guys. Do your best. whichever career you choose, because that's what will set you apart in terms of the requirements in meeting the shortage.
What it boils down to is, yes, your marks are important, but it's also your CV and your interview as such. And believe me, we have, especially for, we call it the A1 level, that's the school leaver starting. We have quite a lot of interest in that, and it's really the interview. How are you coming to the interview? Are you prepared for the interview? It's not if somebody comes to the interview and you ask him, have you read up on PKF-FCS?
Yeah.
No. What have you done with your life? School. What do you want to do with your life? Become a partner with 21. What are you intending to know about it? Me? Why me? You must teach me. I'm here to get the big pay and get the promotion. So nothing in life is for free. Straight and simple as that. There's somebody sitting actually there. I wanted to introduce you, little Bonita doll. She left school. She worked quite off. She studied, and she is now a registered accountant. So she's now the senior accountant in the Swakopmund office. That's possible. Behind her is our manager of the HR department. I did. So she'll be sitting here during the day. She can answer really the technical questions about what do I need to do here, what do I need to do here. Does that answer your question?
Yes. How many do you take a year?
It depends on the growth. The last 2.5, 3 years have been the best of financial years in Namibia. But normally we were looking in Swakopmund 2 to 3 a year, Walvis Bay were 2, 3 a year. Windhoek was even better. Swakopmund only has an accounting department, so we only take accountants. Walvis Bay and Windhoek have audit departments as well. But nothing would stop you starting in Swakopmund, saying maybe 1 or 2 years with your parents. I think it's cheaper, that's free farm, and then moving over to Walvis Bay. That's what we have quite a lot.
Not having accounting as a subject in school, would that affect the likelihood of you being accepted by the company?
Again, what sets you apart? If I have 10 other CVs, with 10 or 9 of them having accounting at A level or AS level, and you have no accounting, why would I risk? If you come to me and say, listen, I've started already studying, I've done my bridging course, and I'm halfway through my bridging course and finances are, but look at my marks, I'm really determined. It's a different story. But if you come up to me and say, I haven't bothered with the accounting, now I want the big check. Because that's what I think. Your chances are a little bit less than your competitors. Make sense? Yes.
If you're still studying, right? Do you work as like an internship?
That's a nice thing. Yes, you do your articles while you are studying. You work every day, doing your articles, getting the practical experience, and then you in the evenings and weekends you do your studying as well. So it helps quite a bit doing your practical and your studies as well. The only thing UNAM does not have distance learning. UNAM, for instance, NAS, those ones you have to be with them. Full-time study. Yes.
So if I come for an interview to become an accountant or anything, does it matter how I'm dressed when I come for the interview? Because I just want to become an accountant, so I can wear anything when I come for the interview.
I want to say no. I want to say. But again, impressions, your first impressions are made in the first 10 seconds. If I would have walked up here with my shirt hanging out with half of the buttons open, I think it would have been different. So we can make a joke and everything, but first impressions do count. I'm going to look at you. Are you confident? That's my first thing. Are you confident? Are you going to sit in the corner and say nothing? Or are you confident? Because if you want to become an accountant, believe me, you have to be confident. At some stage in your life, you're going to have to explain to a client, listen, what you're doing here is wrong. You have to change your work. You're going to have to sit at the receiver of revenues and you're going to have to start a verbal fight with the receiver. And if you're not confident, you're going to lose that argument. Again, you play soccer or you dance and your hobbies are, I'm not really interested in hobbies, except if your hobby might be doing drugs. Might be a different story. Again, I really don't care. What I would like to see about your hobbies is if you have a balanced work-life balance. Because that's a different story. If you just sit at home and studying and have no work-life balance, you aren't too healthy, it's a different story again. Work-life balance is important. Because if you want to party until 2 o'clock every night and you come to work not rested, might also not last too long. Life is tough, unfortunately. As I said, there are 600 people who want your spot. If you don't, there are 599 standing in line.
So you are PKF.
Yes. Yes.
Do you offer your employees training?
We haven't started that yet. Like I said, we have merged, or we have merged with PKF Namibia in 2016. We've adopted PKF 2021. So we are busy getting to know all the other firms. We're starting to work together with the other firms, but that is the initial idea, yes. As with other all big firms, that we start sending our employees all over the world. So nothing that there is called something PKF Hub. There's PKF websites where all the jobs are there. You can apply for it. I can tell you one of our staff members left for Ireland. And she's in Ireland. So that is, but that was my pure chance. But that's maybe answering that. It will happen at some stage, yes. Right.
Is it possible? Is this field to later on in our careers actually will be independent, or is there not enough opportunity?
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. If you want to work independent, all you have to do is set yourself apart from your competitors. You can open another shop right if you want to. You can start another Coca-Cola if you want to. Anything is possible. Just put your mind in everything. You must be prepared to set in the world. Yes, we are a trading firm. So you will probably not grow old with us. Once you have trained, once you have gone through the motions and you are qualified, it would be expected that you would leave, become a financial accountant at a big public company or something like that, or a financial manager, going to middle management, anything like that. It would be expected. But it's also possible that you can grow within the firm, become a partner as well. But we have 140 people, we have 12 partners. We took in 2 partners this year. So we don't take in 15 partners every year. So becoming a partner is really, really, really difficult. And it takes a long time. So I wouldn't try too much. Again, the reality is I'm going to use you to make some money off you, pay your studies, you're going to use me to learn. Once we've used each other, I'm happy if you go. It's the reality of life. Nothing in life is free. Does it help? We want to be honest with each other. Anything else? Yes.
Would you possibly like still get an internship while doing, for example, AS?
I didn't hear the last one.
Would you like still be able to get an internship doing AS?
Well, still at school.
It's difficult while you're still at school. You mean while you're still studying and you have to be at school and stuff? Yeah. It's difficult. You have to remember one thing. Here at school, if you do accounting, you get a questionnaire which says ABC stationery buys this, does that, does that. Once in our 4 walls, it's not ABC stationery. You see your teacher's payslip. You see the books of the PSS school. So would I like to give you access to that? I really would have to trust you to do that. So the chances are minute. Because it doesn't matter how thick my memorandum of understanding is, my confidentiality agreement is with you. It is not worth anything once you blab. And our entire existence is surrounded around confidentiality. Because in a small town, if you know we talk about your taxes, you won't bring your books to us. So the chances are very little. In a bigger town in Windhoek, possible. Swakopmund, I doubt it really, because we are a small town and it's a confidentiality issue, or not that I don't trust you. I don't know you. Yes. Bonnie also would like to answer some questions. Speaking, I finished everything in 1999. That is when I finished my service. Yes.
But what if you sign a non-disclosure agreement?
What's it worth? Who do I sue? You or your father? Is your father going to sign? What are you worth? If I lose $4 or $5 million worth of fees, will you pay them back?
Probably not.
So what's the non-disclosure worth? We're honest with each other here. What's the non-disclosure worth?
Nothing.
Simple. So who's taking the risk, you or me?
You.
Thank you. Do I know you well enough to take the risk? Hell no. Guys, I'm here to answer questions. Make a bit of fun. Try to make it interesting. Please be confident. That's your biggest asset as a person. Be confident. Nothing. That's easy. Guys, Claudette is going to be here tomorrow, I think, as well. Claudette. Up until Friday. She's going to be here as of 11 o'clock every morning, if I'm not mistaken. She's going to sit there in the corner there. She will be able to answer your questions about exactly where do you enroll, how do you enroll, all these kinds of things.
I know that it's been here since the beginning of the week.
I know, my HR department is way behind.
Thank you so much.
I also would like to say a few words.
Hi guys, my name is Piepmeyer and I'm with PKF-FCS Swakopmund in 14 years. I started with PKF-FCS in the time I was as young as you guys. I graduated from Bookkeeping High School in 2008. Started with PKF-FCS Swakopmund in January 2009. And still I'm here at PKF-FCS. I did have accounting in school. I good mathematics points and good marks in English. So I saw the advert, I applied. I said, okay, my goal is start with a good firm, with a successful firm, even though if I'm a failing firm, I would go as low as that, just to get a start. As Reiner said, nothing comes for free, nothing comes easy. My parents didn't have the funds to send me to the university to study, so I decided I'd create my own path. I was lucky enough, I got a bookkeeping position. 3 years down the line in bookkeeping, I started in University of Tunisia. I started my studies. I did a few bridging courses. Guys, believe me, it took me 8 years. 8 years to get my degree. I had a few down years, difficult years, but I never gave up. I failed, but you know what? I stood up, I retried, and I did it 8 years later. 12 months down the line, I decided I'm going to do my NICA articles, and I received it. Last year, January, I got my articles. I'm a qualified accountant. So for those of you guys that don't have hope, don't give up. Carry on. That's my motto in life.
Thank you very, very much to Financial Consulting Services for that inspiring little talk, isn't it, Uncle? Was really, truth is sometimes all you have to hear. All right, we're going to need 5 minutes to get ready for our next presentation. So make sure you sign in, please, and then we'll start in 5 minutes.